Hello ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Mantis here with Max Mooney, and we have a very special treat for you tonight from Plaster, New Brunswick, a great North Wrestling event from the past. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the legend himself, against Jack the Mountie, managed by the evil Dot Cash.
That's right, Great North Wrestling travels all over Canada. Many different provinces, many different cities.
But one thing's for sure, Brutus the Barber Beefcake is always popular whenever he wrestles for Great North Wrestling.
He does have quite the following. He was very popular in the 80s and the 90s. Brutus the Barber Beefcake looks great here for his age, you gotta say.
Of course, Beefcake was also known as the Boogeyman, the man with no name. Sorry, the Booty Man. Not the Boogeyman, the Booty Man, the man with no name, Brutus the Butcher Beefcake. And numerous other personas, I believe the Zodiac, well, he was in WCW.
That's right, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake actually had a very close to death experience quite a few years back that almost ended his wrestling career. Do you want to shed any light about that?
Oh yes, that was the parasailing accident that shattered his face, and he had to have steel plates put in his face. He survived. He had to wear a mask for a while back when he was teaming with Hulk Hogan around WrestleMania 9.
That's right, it just shows you how tough Brutus the Barber Beefcake really is. A lot of these wrestlers in the past are a lot tougher than the wrestlers you see these days.
That is true, but Great North Wrestling definitely has some extremely tough superstars, and Jack the Mountie might be one of them. I guess we'll find out over the course of this match.
It looks like Brutus the Barber Beefcake is giving him a run for his money as the Mountie is down and he is outside the ring already.
Yeah, some quick blows right to the stomach area, and Jack the Mountie is already walking to the back there.
Is he going to leave right away?
I think this might be it for Jack. He may have had enough right now. Brutus looks to be in tremendous condition.
That's right. You have to remember, Brutus the Barber Beefcake used to tag with Hulk Hogan back in the day.
Yes, and he feuded with such superstars as the Macho Man, Randy Savage. He had a long feud with him. He was one of the top stars of the 80s in the WWE, and the crowd certainly remembers that here in Plaster, New Brunswick.
As Brutus the Barber Beefcake tries to fire up the crowd, you know, he really gets fired up. When he's got the audience going, he really has a lot of volition going.
And Jack the Mountie's back in the ring now, tying up with Beefcake, but Beefcake displaying some technical ability here, and he has an arm lock on Jack the Mountie.
That's right. Don't be fooled by his age. He's got a lot of, he's got a veteran status, got a lot of experience, and he knows how to get along with the ring.
And he appears to have dyed his hair blonde for this particular match, which is highly unusual for Beefcake, but he's a highly unusual fella.
That's right. I think anybody with those colored tights is highly unusual.
Yes, he likes the fishnet tights, as we see an arm wrencher being put on here by Jack the Mountie.
I think my grandmother used to have a similar pair of pants to that, but getting on now with the match, we see Jack the Mountie just wrenching that arm.
That puts tremendous pressure on the shoulder, but Beefcake's reversing it here. Just cranking that arm of the Mountie, sending him down to his knees.
Now you notice now he's focusing on one certain part of the Mountie. What do you think his strategy is in the match?
He's going to wear down that shoulder. We may see a submission here. He's stomping on the shoulder. He's been wrenching it throughout this match, but of course Brutus Beefcake is known for the sleeper hold. So I'm sure he's just going to try and wear Jack the Mountie out, which he's doing a great job of, and try and put him to sleep. Now I don't know if he's going to cut the Mountie's hair in this match, but
doesn't look like he has any hair.
No, but his manager Dot Cash certainly does, and Brutus has been known to cut a wrestler to's hair in the past, as well as a manager or two's hair. I believe he cut Lanny Poffo's hair.
That's right.
Back when he was managing Kurt Hennig, also known as Mr. Perfect.
And I think he's actually cut some of our referees' hair back
some
of our Great North Wrestling events in the past.
He has definitely cut some of wrestlers and referees' hair in Great North Wrestling. Of course, Beefcake has been one of the regulars over the years. He keeps himself in tremendous form, and he's a crowd favorite as he is working on that shoulder and tricep area of Jack the Mountie here.
That's right. I think a really smart strategy here, because if Jack the Mountie gets a sleeper put on him, he's not going to be able to fight it off if his arms are too weak to fight it off.
And he goes back to that arm-wrenching hold and just smashes it into that top turnbuckle.
A lot of pain on the face of Jack the Mountie.
Jack the Mountie is getting a lesson here in wrestling. I know he's taken on Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the past. He was not successful in that encounter, and he wanted to show the world that he is going to be a wrestling legend, and that's what he came here for tonight. I know he's preparing heavily for this match, but it's not going too well for him at this point, as his arm looks to be in tremendous pain. That's
right, and you mentioned Hacksaw Jim Duggan, another Great North Wrestling regular. We have a lot of legends here that are regulars.
We have a lot of legends, a lot of up-and-coming stars, and a lot of current stars, such as we recently had AJ Styles, who Hannibal successfully defended his Canadian Heavyweight Championship against. And Jeremy Prophet, of course, a top name in the business. Sexy Eddie, Vampiro, who's still in tremendous condition. Another one of our young top stars here in Great North Wrestling. Of course, Vampiro was very famous in Mexico. As we see Jack the Mountie actually bashing Brutus the Barber Beefcake in the lower midsection right now.
I think this is the first bit of offense we've seen from Jack the Mountie.
Brutus Beefcake is eating the canvas here, and Dark Cash is now choking him. I don't believe the referee sees this. This referee has to open up his eyes here.
That's right. Rookie mistake by referee.
Referee Kyle Leda, who didn't last too long as a referee in Great North Wrestling, probably due to reasons such as this. He was not the most skilled referee, but unfortunately, Great North Wrestling has not had the best reputation for having the best referees in the business. I know they're still looking for new referees, so if you are a referee in the business, definitely message Great North Wrestling at their website, greatnorthwrestling.ca. But we do have some new officials coming in each and every event, trying out, and of course the head official for Great North Wrestling is referee Jamie Histman, who is quite controversial to say the least, but I believe he was injured in the last match he refereed by Hannibal.
A very unfortunate incident where Hannibal gave a tombstone piledriver through a table into the concrete floor, and Jamie Histman is recovering, as far as I know.
He survived. He was rushed to the hospital that night, but he did survive, and as we see a very unusual blow to the temple area of Brutus Beefcake by Jack the Mountie.
Jack the Mountie, a little bit of offense, but Brutus the Barber Beefcake still has some fire in him as he fires back into the midsection.
Beefcake is unusual, to say the least. He's just kind of staggering around there, taking those blows. Gets whipped hard into the corner by the Mountie. Looks like we're going to see a splash. No, Beefcake moves out of the way.
What's going to happen here now? Big clothesline. The big man goes down, all 320 pounds of him.
Beefcake is fired up, sends him crashing down to the mat again. He's going nuts here. Shades of his Mega Maniac stays with Hulk Hogan. Beefcake is going nuts. He's ready to fight. He wants to... Oh, he's signaling for the sleeper hold.
That's right, and the crowd is amped, and they are ready for it, and they want to see the sleeper hold.
He's doing his sleeper hold dance as he's calling for Jack the Mountie to get back up right now.
Jack the Mountie slowly getting up.
Of course, Beefcake made appearances in Thunder in Paradise and numerous other Hulk Hogan movies over the years.
And that's the sleeper hold we've been talking about.
There it is. Nobody gets out of this. I don't know if the Mountie... Oh, he's very clever here. He's grabbed the ropes. Beefcake's going to have to break the hold.
Jack the Mountie narrowly escaping certain death. Brutus the Barber Beefcake gets raked in the face. What's going to happen here?
Mountie throwing Beefcake in. Reversed by Beefcake. Hulk Hogan boot.
That's right. A Hulk Hogan-like boot. What's going to happen here? 1, 2, 3.
That's all she wrote here tonight. Brutus the Barber Beefcake emerges victorious, but I want to know what he's going to do about the hair.
That's right. Jack the Mountie doesn't have any hair, but look at Dark Cash over there.
Dark Cash has his back to Jason. He better watch out here. Brutus Beefcake, of course, he's known, best known in wrestling as cutting people's hair. And here he goes. He's got Jason. Dark Cash, Daco Coat. He got a handful of hair. He cut a handful of Jason Daco Coat. Dark Cash himself, his locks.
He's not going to be too happy with that. Just furious.
Jason, Dark Cash, Dakoto furious right now, screaming and yelling at Beefcake. Jack the Mountie is behind him, smashes Beefcake over the back, throws him into the ropes. Beefcake may pay for that victory. No, he reverses it. Big clothesline to Jack the Mountie.
I think the whole building shook when he went down.
I think the whole building's stomping and shaking right now. I believe Beefcake is a huge favorite here, but no, Jack the Mountie escapes.
And another Great North Wrestling event. Very exciting.
Dark Cash escaped without getting his full head shaved off. GreatNorthWrestling.ca is our website. Check it out and join our Facebook group.